Hey, what's up, guys? I am making a video for the request of my friend James, which he wants me to make a video about Xenosaga, which I haven't really talked about it before. I did play through the series, but I just never talked about it. And the main reason is, I'll be honest with you, I think Xenosaga is like coming off of Xenogears. Xenogears is amazing. You can see it right over there. Um, it is in my top 10 RPGs of all time. And I already talked about how amazing that game is and how grand in scope. It's bigger than all of us. And I adore that game. But Xenosaga is supposed to be like a spiritual successor type of going a different direction but trying to keep the same themes. And it has like there's some characters that are kind of present in it. It's very loosely connected. Um, but it's one of those things where I played the entire series and I'm mixed on it. I think the third one is the best one. Like if I had to recommend it, I would say only play the third one because it's the only one worth playing in my opinion. Um, they have a synopsis, like a summary of the first two games to catch you up if you just play the third one. But I know some people be like, well, I want to play the original games, and that's fine. See for yourself. But for me, uh, the first two games are. It's the first game, which it's this one, Xenosaga, uh, Episode 1, which this game is. It's okay. It's not a terrible game by any means, but it's. I'd be lying to you if I said, you know, that it's excellent, which it's maybe slightly above average. It's in the average zone, slightly above average. Um, the thing about Xenosaga Episode 1 is it's got some genericness in it. The way that the story goes and like the way that it flows is it's just it feels like you're just kind of going with the motions. It's not really much of an impact in the game. And it's just like it's bizarre because like you have the battle music. There is no boss music, which is kind of weird. I thought that was very strange. You fight bosses, but it's the random battle music. It's very disappointing. And then, like, when you get to the end of the game and you face off against the final boss, find it funny because you don't even know it's the final boss. Like, there's nothing in the game that makes you think it's the final boss, but the music is different. Like, the music sounds like final boss music, so it's very strange. Like I like uh Cosmos. I like her. Shion is okay, I guess. I hate that one dude that tries to get in her pants. What's his name? Ugh, fucking, he's a loser. I mean, his character becomes a little bit stronger in episode 3, but I still don't like him. I forget his name because he's that like forgettable. I don't remember his name. But like Junior is pretty cool. The little robot kid, the android, and he's got the twin pistols. He's pretty cool. I liked him. Some of the characters are okay, and then some of them are just like whatever. But like, I feel like the most memorable moments in episode 1 was in the beginning when it started, and like, I loved like when the fucking the gnosis started to take over the ship and everything and like the crazy chaotic stuff that was happening. I also like the flashback when they talk about the prototype of Cosmos and like when they were starting to make her and she kind of like when she awoken she flipped out and like her neck was snapping and spinning and she was like killing people. Like that was cool. That was a memorable moment. It had some moments, but it to me, like the gameplay was good too. I really liked the gameplay with the slots and having to, strategize how you're gonna attack and whatnot and getting the bonus experience. That was cool too. But when I beat the game, it wasn't really that memorable to me. I mean, yes, there was the whole what's the villain's name? I forget his name. I see. I already forgot all the shit about Xenosaga. Um, that one dude, that crazy guy with the white hair, uh, Junior's brother, Rubito's brother, Albedo, I think it was. I think that was the name. But there was a point in the game where he goes chaotic, and there was like some sensory shit happening. Cause here's the thing, I heard about a scene, and I shouldn't have looked it up. It was my fault. I spoiled it for myself. There was like this Momo censor scene. And I kind of looked it up on YouTube, and I looked at it, and I shouldn't have did that because I spoiled it for myself. Like they censored a bunch of shit. It's annoying and it pissed me off. And like the scene doesn't mean, I don't know. It's just fucking weird. And like when I got to that scene, I was like, I would have been surprised, but I wasn't, because like it was spoiled for me, so it wasn't that impactful. But if you weren't spoiled, that scene is kind of eerie. It's kind of fucked up. But yeah, all in all, it was average. Nothing special. I heard some people say it's their favorite in the series. I'm like, no, it's not. Um, then we move on to Xenosaga Episode 2. I'm gonna make this brief. This game is bad. I'm sorry. I do not like this game. I actually dropped it. I played about a few hours of it, and I decided to just drop it and just watch the rest of it on YouTube. I didn't want to play it because it's atrocious to play. The problem with this game is that all battles are fucking boss battles. Like, you have to, in order to beat battles, you have to set up things, and it's really fucking tedious. I'm sorry. I just could not get with the battle system in that game. It's atrocious. That's what made me drop it. Like, other than that, there's some things that, like, the music, because there was no music in the first game, really. It was very subtle. It was more ambience of, like, the ship noises. There wasn't that much music. But with the Xenosaga Episode 2, there's actually music, and there's pretty good music. And, you know, there was that and everything. But, like, the way that the leveling and stuff worked, and the way that you had to do the battles was very tedious and very atrocious. I could not get behind Xenosaga Episode 2. It was awful. So I just dropped it. And like I said, I watched the rest of it on YouTube to get caught up on stuff, and not my cup of tea. I hated that game. But here's the thing. Episode 3 is the final one. It is the best one in the series. This, I would say, don't even play episode 1 and 2. If you just want to get to the good stuff, play episode 3. This is the best. The thing is, they had the mech battles in episode 1, and they were atrocious. You didn't need to use the mechs. The battling wasn't refined. It was terrible. But in episode 3, it has everything you want in an RPG. It has amazing mech battles, the amazing battle system for the mechs. It's great, and I love that they force you to do mech battles. It isn't just you have the option to use mechs, but then in episode 1 you never use them because they're fucking pointless. In this, there's regular boss battles, and then there's mech boss battles, and the mechs in episode 3 are fantastic. The battle system is awesome. The amount of damage you can do, the combos, it's just fantastic. And the music in the game is pretty good. And you know, it introduced the arch nemesis of Cosmos, which was Talos, which she was cool. I love some of the attack animations in episode 3, like Ziggy's like neck snap. Like I remember snapping Talos's neck, and it makes the noise. It goes like, and you see her just like fall. That's fantastic stuff. The attack animations was great, and the battle system was changed. It wasn't like episode 1, and obviously not 2, because that was horrible. But they took away like the what is it, the roulette thing where you strategize if you want to get more experience and whatnot, or do a critical hit. They took that out, and they just made it was just a straight up traditional, like, turn-based RPG. It was traditional as you can get. But it was fantastic. The characters were pretty good. I mean, it's the same characters, but you get Jin. He's in episode 2, but he's so much better in this game. And the characters are fine. Again, it's the best in the series. You'd have to play it. It is amazing. Um, there's some moments in this game that are really crazy. And it's a hell of a ride. Let me tell you, definitely. But the thing is, like, I finished the series, and episode 3 was the best. I had my moments with episode 3. I loved episode 3. But in terms of, like, compared to Xenogears of greatness, I'm sorry, but the characters, the world, and, like, the things that are happening just isn't as interesting as Xenogears, in my opinion. I just do not. I don't think it's as interesting to me. It's not as impactful to me. Like, Xenogears had a certain quality to it, and it just was amazing. Like, the characters, the music, the world, like the dread, like the sadness, the just everything feeling like the world is falling apart. It just created this sense of, like, amazingness. Like, I don't know, the quality that was done with Xenogears, and it wasn't even finished. And I loved Xenogears, but the episode the episodes of Xenosaga just don't do it for me comparatively. But I still think that this is a fine game. Episode 3 is a fine game. But this game right here, I have it up here because it's like a trophy, really. This game still cannot be beaten. It is truly a masterpiece, and it's not even finished, and it's got flaws, but the flaws don't matter to me because it's so amazing. But yeah, I mean, that's all I wanted to talk about. This video I'm making for James. He wanted me to talk about it and to test out my HD Logitech webcam. I think the quality is a lot better than before. Um, I'll definitely find some more topics to talk about, and it would be cool to do that, and maybe do some other stuff. I don't know, depending. Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, what I'm doing right now is I was doing the Breath of Wild stuff, but I'm done with that now. I'm good. Um, I'm playing Dragon Quest 9 right now, and I'm also playing this wonderful game, Grandia. I'm actually replaying this. I've already beaten it, and I love it. I know there's some people like Mr. James. I don't think he likes this game, which is unfortunate. It does have problems. It's not perfect. It has its issues, like the frame rate isn't. The frame rate is kind of bad, but that's like the only bad thing, really. I mean, I guess you could say the voice acting is a little bit. It's debatable, but it's so bad it's good. I think, except for what was one of the characters you get later, Raz, was it, or something? His voice is legitimately awful, but like some of the voices are okay. I don't mind it, but like the frame rate, I feel like is the biggest issue of that game, and there's some severe slowdown in a lot of areas. But I forgive it because the adventure, the sense of adventure, the wonder and mystery of Grandia, and the music and the battle system and the characters are just so fantastic that I forgive it, and I'm having a blast playing Grandia again. So yeah. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Take care, guys, and keep gaming.